Happy Friday. What's happening out there? I'm smoking on mine. Country Gentleman. There it is. I got some old Joe Krantz in it. Old Joe. It is just a lovely day here. Got about 99.8% cloud cover. Very pleasant little breeze. Feels good out here. Probably about 67, 68 degrees maybe. It is Friday. That means it's Top 5 Friday. This edition keeping in line with the last couple. And as per usual, it's not just 5. Let me find them. I wrote them down. There we go. So last week I did blue songs. So we've done black, white, and blue. Then Halloween happened. And of course the next day, everything was red and green everywhere. It's Christmas time all of a sudden. Even though it's just November the 3rd. It's that time of the year when Yard says, "Get me out of here." You probably see a downward spiral in my general attitude over the next couple of months. It's not my favorite time of the year. Anyway, because it's Christmas, because today's, Christmas Eve to the power of whatever it is, 31 or I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do red and green songs, top red and green songs. Now by top, I mean ones that I think should be included in this list. And there's some monsters in this one today, baby. So let's jump right into it. Let's see, I'll start out with green. Before I do that, speaking of green, Meet the Twins. I'll do a Ben Carson on them later and separate them. Green, 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 green. It's the green Manalishi with the 2-pronged crown. I first heard that song in 1983 at a little show called Live Aid. I wasn't there. I sat at home and recorded the entire thing on VHS tapes. I'd give anything if I still had those. But Judas Priest came out and played You Got Another Thing Coming. I can't remember the other song they played. And the green Manalishi with the 2-pronged crown. They had lifted that from Peter Green's version of Fleetwood Mac. Both of those versions are excellent. I just fell in love with the song when Judas Priest played it. They had put it on an album at some point, but I hadn't heard it at that point. At this point, I would like to say at that point again. Anyway, Green Manalishi. Alright, this is probably one of the grooviest Green songs that was ever recorded. A little number by Booker T and the MGs, Green Onions. The MGs featuring Donald Duck Dunn, pipe smoker, on bass, and Steve Cropper on guitar. Would later become the core of the Blues Brothers. Killer song. That's just the grooviest damn song. Number 3. Take a little tour through the bayou. Green River by CCR. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Green River was covered by the group Alabama. That's how cool CCR was. Just a great song. I think Creedence was probably, if I had to make a list of the most unique bands, they would be up there, because they came out of San Francisco in the late 60s, and they sounded like they came out of the Delta down in Louisiana and just drenched with swamp. I mean, they just had swamp raunch all over them. Their sound, their attitude, the stuff they sang about. Great band. Number 4, Sugarloaf, Green-Eyed Lady. That's another pretty groovy song. Sugarloaf never did do a whole lot besides that, but that was enough. Got some cool organ going on, or maybe it's Fender Rhodes piano. I can't remember. I can hear it in my head. I think it was a Fender Rhodes. Cool song. Next one is by a little old band called the Outlaws. Some good old southern rock, which I don't buy into that genre. It's just rock. It's just good music. It's not southern rock. There's not, I mean, anyway. Green Grass and High Tides Forever. That song has the potential to be like a Freebird or a Whipping Post or something. Just this epic song. Incredibly overlooked. I mean, you don't hear a lot about it. You don't hear a lot about the Outlaws. But it was a great song, nonetheless. At this point, I'm tamping my pipe. I have an honorable mention, but I'm going to skip over to the red side and do my honorable mentions last. Now, there are 3 or 4 songs on this side that I think are absolute classic songs, just perfect songs. First one is Red, Red Wine, done by UB40. They had a sound that nobody else was doing at that time. Kind of a reggae, ska-ish kind of groove, along with that English pop vibe at the same time. That was a cover song. It had been done before, back in the 60s. But their version is absolutely the definitive version of Red, Red Wine. Great song, great song. Another perfect song. I love this song. Red Rain by Peter Gabriel. He has 2 songs that I think are just the pinnacle of great songwriting. That one and In Your Eyes. But Red Rain. That's what we're talking about now. Just his voice, the passion, the emotion that he puts into his songs fits that one perfectly. I would like to see him in concert one of these days. He's still touring. I've watched many a concert by him, but I've never been to one. Fantastic performer. He's what made Genesis Genesis to me. That's my favorite version of Genesis, when they were all five still together. You've heard me say that before. Number 3. Excellent example by music from this band. My uncle has a country place that no one knows about. He says it used to be a farm before the motor law. Red Barchetta by Rush. The song's got some killer music to go along with it, as everything does by them, but the groove that Geddy and Alex play, the riff in that song, is just a monster. I love that riff. Good song. If you haven't heard Red Barchetta by Rush, toss that rock off your head and go listen to it. This next one was a staple of his live concerts, for good reason. Red House, Jimi Hendrix. It's a great old blues song that he transformed into his own and turned it into a vehicle for jamming. And he did it as no one else could do it. I don't know that anybody's even tried. A couple of people have covered some of his other stuff. Red House is a great one. And another great old blues standard. It's not a blues standard. It was written right before these guys did it. Matter of fact, I think the same year. But they appropriated it, and it sat dormant for about 30 years before they started doing it in concert again. I was lucky enough to get to see him do it in 1989. Getting serenaded by my neighbors over here. Little Red Rooster, as done by the Rolling Stones. Just a good old straight 12-bar blues jam. And they did it well. I really enjoyed seeing them do that in concert. Like I said, they hadn't done it in years. It was recorded in, like, I want to say 64 or 63 or 64, early. But they did it well. They did it well. Now my honorable mentions. First one, I know there's a couple of people out there that know this song in its original form. And there's probably a whole lot more of you that know it, as it was done by another band that was coming back off of a tragedy. Metallica covered this song on their Garage Days album. And it is Green Hell by the Misfits. It was on the last album that the Misfits did with Glenn Danzig. And that's just a cool song. It's about 2.5 minutes long. It's just this kick you in the teeth. Dirty, nasty, heavy. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's a cool song. Green Hill by the Misfits, and later Metallica. This next one was a guilty pleasure. It's one of those songs you don't tell people you liked. And I might be the only person that likes this song still. I had such a crush on this girl when this song came out. I was 16. She was about 16, I think. She was from Germany, and her name was Nena. She did a song called 99 Luftballons, which translated means 99 red balloons. And it was on her, basically a double-sided EP. One side of it was German, the other side of it was the English translations. I prefer the German version, because there was just kind of a mystique about it, because it was the MTV era. Here's this, German girl singing something that you don't know what she's talking about. And it just drew me in. The first time I ever saw it, I thought, wow, that's cool. It's just this silly little German pop song, basically, but nonetheless, I dig it. So there you have it. Red and Green. Merry Christmas. I think I'm going to do another video here in a bit with a little deeper content. Something I've been thinking about all morning. So, until next week, that has been your Top 5 Friday. If you want to try to guess what's coming next week, it's going to be in a Christmas kind of theme as well. Not Christmas songs, but Christmas colors, silver and gold. And I think I'll go on to something else. But until then, enjoy your pipe and ignore the hype and ignore my neighbors.